for example. And yeah, so welcome. And here we never know how many people are going to join. Sometimes that's 2, sometimes that's 200. We never know. And this is like the place where we invite like people just to explain how they can help us like get jobs and like any kind of advices on those kind of opportunities. That's very much welcome. So please, I would ask you to introduce yourself and introduce your company. That would be very well appreciated. Thanks so much.
Okay. Yes, of course. Thank you very much. Well, my name is Jonas. I'm one of the founders of the company. I live in Gothenburg in Sweden. I believe you wrote Switzerland in your invitation on LinkedIn. It's a common mistake.
Yeah, I fired that designer.
Okay,
sorry.
So anyway, we are situated in Sweden, then in the northern part of Europe. So I work as a CEO in the company. We are about 25-30 people today. We have shrunk a bit recent year in the downturn in the economy. We are, as I mentioned, situated in Gothenburg on the west side of Gothenburg. It's a second largest city in Sweden. And
Amazing.
it is in the northern part of Europe. So you can imagine now we have snow and minus degrees in Gothenburg. But
and that's already dark there, I presume.
Sorry, I didn't hear. Repeat, please.
That might be already very dark there already, right?
Yeah, it is dark right now. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, but it's not. The Gulf Stream is in the ocean outside, so it's pretty mild being a coastal city. So it's not the worst. So it's much worse up in northern parts of Sweden. Anyways, the company then, Explipro, me and Magnus, we founded the company 13 years ago now. Time flies. We started out with mostly mechanical engineering and services within PLM, product lifecycle management. CAD and PDM systems. Here we are, Magnus. Welcome.
Hi, Magnus. Welcome.
We don't hear you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice to have us here.
Yes, I started talking a little bit about the company here, the background and so on, and I told them that you have been training your daughter's football team now for
Yeah, exactly. So I was a bit late. I was rushing back
Yes.
from the football training.
Yeah, good. That's good. So me and Magnus then, we founded the company 13 years ago within mechanical design and PLM services, but we soon discovered the needs for more IT-related services from our clients. It was a big shift in the industry at that time. And Gothenburg in Sweden is pretty much an automotive city. We have brands like Volvo, you probably have heard about them, and other brands. So
yes,
it's
for sure. Yes,
very much dominated by automotive industry. But we do work with other industries as well. We have Ericsson Telecom company, we have medtech companies, and so on. But automotive is dominating. But it also has happened a lot within automotive recent years, like EV cars, electric cars, autonomous drive, and so on. So there were a lot of technical shifts, also creating a demand for consultants and IT people. So, and also at that time, we did discover that IT people in Gothenburg, they were all occupied. So we had problems recruiting. So what to do about that then? We went abroad. So we started to publishing ads in English and trying to relocate people. And it went pretty well, actually. So, and we were amongst the first ones doing that in Gothenburg. So, as up to date, we have relocated 100+ persons, I would say, from
amazing. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. So we really know the process for doing that and so on. So we have relocated a lot of people from Brazil, as well as from Asia and other parts of Europe, of course, and now also from Africa, actually, this summer, the first one. So. Yeah, so it's nice, and automotive companies and also telecom companies. And in Sweden, yeah, they welcome international workforce, and they are international companies. So there is nothing strange about that, really. So everyone speaks English, so that's a very good thing to have. Yeah, the years goes on, and today we are, I would say, on the consultancy side, we are 100% international crew.
Wow, that's a great development.
Yeah.
Well, you said like that's 13 years, so that's like, that's quite a long. But anyways, like hundreds of people being positioned. That's like so nice. And by the way, like so we here talk mostly to Brazilians, and I would like to hear from you guys, because we all here in Brazil like to please our egos. So what do you guys like in Brazilians when you're hiring Brazilians? Because first thing that comes to my mind is like, first, I think that English here is like, it's maybe more challenging, I would say, because we live like very far away. That's not like Europe. That's not the same way we have like contact as you guys have in Europe. Like we don't have that much touch with English as you guys do, I presume. And also there's like the time zone aspect. So what do you guys see in Brazilians that make you guys like hire us, and how do you guys deal with those time zone challenges?
Yeah, time zone challenges are really, it's for me and Magnus when having the interviews, all the candidates to being some of us must be up late, so that's really not a problem. But the language English is really important. But what we like about people from Brazil, we like a lot. We like the culture. I think it's a good mix with the Swedish work culture and how we are here in Sweden, even if it's a big distance geographically in between. So we have lots of things in common. And of all the guys we brought here from different parts of the world, I mean, I must say that most of them are still in Sweden. So relocation goes really well. And of course, if you come from a warmer climate, first winter, it's something special. Everyone remembers it, but it's not a problem. And we see that a lot of our employees from Brazil, they do great careers after leaving us. I mean, no one works forever at one place, so it's a natural thing. They move on, it's going really well for them. They integrate well into the Swedish society. We bring a lot of they get more children, and the kids get rooted in schools and so on. And we see the whole social aspect works out really well, and we take a big part of that also the first years, introducing them to the society and making them
And how this relocation like really works in terms of geography, like, because I presume you guys have like clients like maybe spread across the country. So how those things like happen, like when you bring someone, like how, because I've seen some people like from Brazil going to Sweden, and they going like to very remote places, like to work, like in small cities, this kind of stuff. So how those kind of relocation and geography works when they go there, like is there like in a specific place that like hire more people, like a specific region, like is the country, is like the it's like bringing more like incentivize like more specific region. So how does that work?
I can say that usually there are 3 regions in Sweden that are hiring, and that's because it's the 3 biggest cities: Stockholm area, it's Gothenburg, and it's the southeast part, it's Malmö area. These are the 3 regions that usually goes international for hiring, and here it's also easiest for for international engineers to come here, because you will manage your entire career speaking only English in these regions. If you go to more remote places, the higher demand for speaking the native language, I would say there. These are the three regions: the capital Stockholm, Gothenburg, that is the second city, and Malmö, that is the third city. And Malmö is also very close to Copenhagen and Denmark, so there you have also that aspect.
Mm-hmm. So so just to cover and contextualize everyone who's watching this, you guys work only with in-person jobs, not remote jobs. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yes, that's very nice. And but so I'm gonna ask a couple of very random questions, because I literally have no clue, and I imagine most of Brazilians have the same questions as I do.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. So first of all, first thing that Brazilians think when going to another place, in Europe, is one of the biggest example. How does visa works? Because how does that work? So I'm going to be hired. How is the process of getting Sweden visa?
Exactly. You need a work visa to stay in the country and work here for a longer term. And you can come, of course, as on a tourist visa, but to be able to apply for Swedish personal number, that is the key to the Swedish society, then you need a work visa. And since we have done this for 10 years or so, we have this competence in-house. So when we have decided that this engineer, we want to hire him or her, we start up the visa process, and then we can include your partner, if you have kids also. And then you will be the carrier of the visa, and your partner will have the dependent visa. The partner is dependent on you on the carrier's visa. So if you have it and you have a wife, for example, your wife will be dependent on your visa. So this is and then you have a work visa for 2 years, and then we can apply for an extension of that for additional 2 years. And when you have been in the country for 5 years, you can apply for permanent visa, and then you have the full access. And after that, also, if you want, you can apply for citizenship.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, so this would be the following up question, because as I arrived there as a worker, let's call it, as an immigrant. So what kind of benefits do I have from the government? So do I have access to what kind of public services? Is that for example, do I have access to healthcare? What kind of those basic needs that people may have in Brazil? For example, we have healthcare for free. What kind of those kind of basic needs that you guys offer, or the government offer, other companies offer those most of it?
Yeah, I can start here with what's included from the government. You can say public health care is free in Sweden. Dentist is free until age of 23 for your kids. School is free. University is free. You will also get 480 paid days to take care of your children, maternity leave. It's hard to beat that number. It's a lot, yes. These are public benefits you have, so to say. Then we provide, of course, insurances and stuff like that during working hours and so on. And we also pension. You're earning pension for your retirement as well. And we, as a company, will pay extra pension for your retirement. But so you can withdraw that pension wherever you are at the time for retirement. So, and also if you want to have your kids in a daycare, it costs almost nothing, I would say, compared to many other countries. So there is a lot of things included when you have a family. Sweden is a high-tax country, but the benefits are very high. And if you want as much of your tax money back, you have big family, and you use all of this. So that's a good thing.
Gosh, did I got that right? Did I got that right? That's 400 days.
480. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost 500.
But the thing, then the child should be born here. You cannot bring 8-year-old and then have 480 days. So then it's some they have some calculation model for that. So if your child is 2 when you arrive here, you get a certain amount of this total 480 days. So, but it's still very generous.
Gosh, that's the most generous thing I've ever heard about. Like,
yeah. But the whole Swedish model is kind of the whole concept is that both adults in the household should be able to work. So it's very cheap to have children in daycare. In euros or in dollars, it costs approximately 150 euros per month to have a child in daycare, and then it's full time. So both adults can work 8 hours per day. So then you have very generously it's very generous from the society, but then in your return you will work and you will pay your tax. So, and Jonas said it's a high tax country. It is, but the income tax is around 30%. So it's not dramatically high. I think it's comparable with other countries also, but you get a lot back from the tax.
Yeah, it's a tricky discussion comparing country to country. You compare benefits and taxes and all that. So it's almost impossible. But I can say that living standard in Sweden are high, and people stay here, like it. All in all, it's a good society to live in.
Yeah, for sure. Like I've heard like several times you guys being positioned like as one of the best countries to live in for like several times. So
usually the Nordic countries, our neighboring countries here in Scandinavia, Denmark, Norway, Finland, and Sweden, we always score pretty high on this happy life indexes, surveys that are published. So
now let's speak like a little bit more about what kind of professional profile do you guys look for when you guys are looking for a professional? Because I know that differs like compared to country and compared like to what kind of companies also hiring. So if you guys could speak a little bit about like what kind of seniority, what kind of like school degrees that's like mandatory, that's not required, like what kind of things are required and what kinds of things are not required, so we can have like a full scope of the question, like am I good fit for this? So we want to answer that question.
Exactly. I mean, we are providing software services and software engineers to our clients. So I will mostly speak about what we Explipro are looking for. And the engineers that we are hiring, they are senior. And what do I mean with senior? I would say that 6, 7, 8 years of experience. Sometimes here you get kind of relevant. I mean, it's just the fact that it's quite a lot of work to bring someone from one part of the world to here. So then we want to do it with someone that has some experience to bring to the table, so to say. So we have brought juniors also, but it's rare and it's for special occasions, I would say. So some around 7 years of experience and software services we are helping our clients with, and many of them are they have legacy applications that they are modernizing. They are maybe migrating to a cloud environment. So and sometimes that is for software development. We have been quite successful helping clients with setting up efficient DevOps processes and CI/CD pipelines. It can also be data related. We have many that are looking more and more into using their data that they might have, but maybe aren't using as efficient as they would like to. So then build effective cloud and data systems, filtering out corrupt data, bad data, irrelevant for specific customer need, maybe internal or external customers. And then when it comes to technology, then it's it's always very specific to the project, depending on the projects. But we have all kinds of tech stacks, I would say. But mostly our customers are building applications on Java and maybe AWS or Azure Cloud.
Yes.
Nice.
And as a side comment to this, almost all of our consultants, our employees, they work directly in client projects on client sites. So, and that means that you're working with the client's employees, but also with other consultants, and usually also in a very international environment. Parts of the team can be in Gothenburg in Sweden, other parts can be in India, for example. So you need a lot of soft skills as well to be able to work in an international environment, to solve problems together, and to be aware of cultural differences, and you need to be able to listen and to communicate in this. So a lot of soft skills we are looking for as well. So
yeah, that's very nice. So when it comes to those kind of positions, so how do you guys announce those positions? Is there a place that anyone who's watching this here can go to apply to, like either your LinkedIn? So how do they get to the positions? And then when they get to the position, like how do they follow up with like improving their profile? If there's any chance to improve their profile or improve their chances of getting like either an interview or getting better positions?
To find our job openings, yes, you can look on LinkedIn, of course, but we have a career page, career.explipro.com. There we publish. And how to improve, Magnus, do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, let me just contextualize that a little bit more, because here we have, like, as we talk to your community, there are like two ways of getting hired. One way is like in a passive way, like you improve your LinkedIn profile, you improve your resume, and you improve your chances of being hired. But there's another way, which is like just applying to the job and guarantee that like my resume like is like appropriate to the position. So, and this is like a more active way of applying to the job directly. So if there's any way we could like improve our profile or our CV, whatever.
First of all, it should be in English, so we can read it. That's a good thing. Sometimes it's not always like that, actually. But of course, we are not at the moment not doing headhunting in Brazil or so. So you need to do some active actions and apply to one of our jobs. What we're looking for is, relevant experience, relevant tech stacks, and if we're happy with what we see, then we will call for an interview, and then we will try to assess this. We will also, of course, make sure that the English level is up to an expected level. As you mentioned, that is sometimes a bit of a challenge from Brazil, so that is important, of course. And then it's a little bit what Jonas also mentioned there. Culture-wise, we have more or less only good experiences from Brazil. You're kind of European. I mean, many of you have ancestors from Europe and so on, and that is yeah, we have many similarities there. And
Yeah, no.
what we try to also, what is very important is, I mean, every client that I'm in discussion with, they are asking for one thing in particular, and they kind of just have it should be a sanity check that the tech stack is there and you know your things, but it's about ownership, and it's you will be working in a project, and there you need to take ownership. You need to understand what is the purpose of the project, where are we going, where are we now, and how do we get there in time. And then so I mean, they do not want to micromanage people. They want to give you a trust and responsibility, and then it's up to you and your skill and your team members, of course, to get yourself to the finish line. And so they don't want to hire people that are kind of coming into office tomorrow in the morning and then expect someone to come with a to-do list and these are the things that you should do, and then okay, I'll do that. They want people that definitely can create this to-do list by themselves and to take action on them and follow up also. So people that like taking ownership, and that can be a bit of a project manager, they can be a developer, they can do the testing, they can speak with stakeholders and so on. So that thrives in taking up multiple roles. That is a very important part of our to check this and assess this. This is an important part of our recruitment process, I would say.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I always tell everyone about this part of just taking ownership. It's highly important. But also, I like to hear from you guys. So, as you guys mentioned, you guys have mentioned like a lot of a few big companies that you guys had as clients. But do you guys have also like some I don't know, small companies as well? Because here we always say that kind of defines your approach inside the company, right? When you work like to a startup, we usually see that professional as a more broader, more like full stack professional position, you know, like, and when you work like to a bigger company, you usually need to collaborate more, work for departments and that kind of stuff. So do you guys work to smaller companies as well? Like, do you hire for startups as well, or just for bigger companies? And how does that like define the profile of who you guys are hiring?
Yeah, we usually work towards the big companies. So yes, big organizations, and of course you need to make your way through such an organization. There is a lot of people. There is can be politics, of course, involved, and there is a lot of old systems, and sometimes software engineers want to use the latest and the greatest, and there is a mix at these clients. They are usually moving from the old towards newer stuff. So yes, that's what to expect from us. So we're working with the big companies mostly because they are the ones hiring consultants in volumes. So it's how it is. And yeah, and that's kind of what Gothenburg is as well. It's mostly bigger companies. So that's why really.
We have some smaller also, and a difference you can say is that, I mean, there is also even more important that you take up these ownership aspects that we spoke about, because then sometimes it's a little bit of a startup mentality there, that you need to really maybe you are a software engineer, but you need to fill up other areas also in the organization. So. But as Jonas mentioned, it's the most common scenario is that we are helping bigger clients.
Yes, but I also want to mention these bigger clients, they are usually made up of smaller companies within the company and smaller departments and business areas. So they can be free, they can be flexible, so it's not always how it sounds. So there are smaller environments within the big ones as well.
Nice. So here on our chat, we have like some people asking about like some specific job roles, but I would like to ask a more broader question. So so inside our community, we see like a lot of requests for data engineers, those kind of the data jobs, like these are highly required, and we see a lot of people requesting about those jobs. But the three biggest categories, of course, are engineers, and we know that like these are the most like requested for sure. But I would like to hear from you guys from the data positions and from for the design positions. Have you ever guys like hired for what is like the approximate like percentage, or if there's any like opportunity for those two types of professionals, inside design and inside data fields?
The data engineers is definitely a growing area. I think that has been a very strong trend the last couple of years, I would say. And now also we see an even more recent trend that they are looking for AI engineers that can use the data in a very efficient way and build in AI or machine learning parts in their systems. When it comes to product designers, design engineers, you said?
Yes, the designers. Yeah, the designer could be general, but yeah, mostly like UX product design.
Yeah, I would say that front-end engineers is an area that are relevant for us. UX, I would say that the UX trend maybe was a couple of years ago and has been a bit on reverse the last, I don't know, for some time back. So UX designers have had a struggle the last couple of years. But front-end engineers are on. Yeah,
yes.
It's a relevant area.
Yes, just covering the questions that we have here. By the way, guys, whenever whoever is hearing this here or watching, please raise your hands if you want to ask any questions to Magnus or Jonas. So now I like to hear from you guys. A very classical questions that you usually get from the developers. How is the assessment? Usually, it's like the assessment for those companies or for the clients you guys have. What is the process or the technical process that you guys may apply for anyone who's like who passed like the first interviews and now like get to the technical? So how does the technical interview look like? Do you guys have like a pair coding? I'm a designer, so I don't know much about that, but I know about these classical questions that they usually ask.
Exactly. Usually we have a first interview that is kind of a chat, kind of not too far away from what we're having right now, actually, but a general talk about technology and careers and things like that. Then we usually have an assessment. It can be a coding assessment or just to yeah, it's like a sanity shake that you know your stuff. You are able to do a proper work and to structure your code, or if it's a Java code assessment, for example. We can also set up a tech meeting with some of our engineers, and we don't always do that, but it's sometimes we do that if we still have some questions or want to check something extra. We talk with reference persons, and then we try to agree on a contract. And then we have qualified you as a team member of ours, and then we are approaching customers with your profile, and to see what kind of projects are they running, what technologies are they looking into, if it's a data project or whatever it might be. And then they will also have an evaluation process. They will probably, some are using tests like HackerRank or these kind of tests, but more common is that they will have a technical interview. It can be a technical discussion. They are shooting maybe some scenario-based questions. If this happened, what kind of experience do you have to solve this? Or what is your best strategy to improve quality in the database? Yeah, different kinds of scenario-based question. And then they usually say that yeah, this is good or maybe not. So that is a typical scenario, or so it's quite a few steps, but they all play a purpose.
Nice, great. So we have a question here. Guilherme has his hand raised, so please go ahead, Guilherme, make your question. Welcome.
Okay. Thanks, Gabe. Hello, Magnus. Hello, Jonas. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Definitely. Hello, Guilherme.
Okay.
Hello, Guilherme.
Thanks. I just invested in a new microphone, so I do like the testing live on stereo.
It works. It works.
Thank God.
Goodbye. Yeah.
So I was a previous mobile software engineer for the past over 5 years, and right now I'm looking for like a product and management and product owner positions. When I look for positions in Europe, I see a lot of them was like needing for me to relocate to the specific country. So when you work with these positions, do you think it's easier for us Brazilians to apply for these positions that need us to relocate to Europe or another country, or it doesn't matter? Like, it's easy for you to close a position that requires the candidates to move over abroad, or like, well, I can work here in Brazil, but for a company there on Sweden or in another places.
I would say it's an advantage if you're open to move. Remote engineers, there are different trends. Some are some are open for remote, but then it's kind of, it has to be a low cost alternative. So then they are looking to remote engineers that are in low cost, so they can kind of lower the budget. Otherwise, we actually see a different trend that they are bringing back remote work that are done offshore somewhere around the world, and they take it back home and to hire the engineers locally instead. So they are open for offshore or remote work, but then it must be a low cost alternative, and also maybe not random people across the globe. Then they try to work with bigger software companies or software suppliers that can supply low cost alternatives. I'm not sure if that was answer to your question.
Oh yes, it is, because we see today a lot of companies they're making two main questions. It's like, do you require a visa sponsorship, or are you legalized to work in the country that this position is open? I don't have a work visa, but if we're doing like a service, I'm offering a service to a company, maybe in the sort of terms I'm legalized to work for a company in Europe. But this surrounds all these two main questions: if I need a work visa, or if the company do need support or sponsor this visa. So that's why I think it's one of my biggest issues when I apply to a position in other countries in general, but specifically in Europe, this question comes out very often.
Yeah, and to work locally here, then you need a visa. So that's kind of, and to get around that, either you take a remote job, or you find someone like us that sponsors the visa.
Okay. Thanks, Magnus. Thanks, Jonas.
Thanks, Guilherme, for your question. So we also have another question here on our chat that's asking, like, is Brazilian higher education relevant at all to you guys? And is it considered like a differentiation in the process? So how do you guys get the higher education, like graduation and post-graduation? So how is the academic life influences in the decisions?
Yeah, you have a special one in Brazil. You work and study at the same time, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and sometimes we get candidates. Say they worked since early ages and in parallel with the studies. We don't do that in Sweden. So but now we understand how you do it. So yeah, that's a difference. But yes. Today in Sweden, we expect everyone to have some sort of university degree, bachelor or master degree. That's the most common. There are other variants of this, of course. We look more important is relevant experience, proven experience, I would say. But yes, there is some differences in how this with training and working as you have. But it's. I'm not sure I answered the question.
Yeah, you definitely answered. And we hear that like in Brazil, we have a lot of people who, and most of the people, I guess, that has like a lot of experience working for teams abroad, they usually work remotely. So does this experience remotely, when you guys hire someone to work in person in a place, does that like influence in the decision? So do you guys prefer like someone who has like working like in the office rather than like working remotely? Does that like influence at all in the decision?
This is not, it's not important for us, I would say. I mean, if you are fine to relocate and you are motivated for this, and also it's a bonus, or it's a positive aspect if you have worked in multicultural teams, so you are aware of how it is and differences, and you can respect that. I would say that is a positive aspect. But if you are motivated to come here and work, then it's that's good. It's enough.
Yeah, amazing. So yeah, so does anyone from the community have any more questions to ask Jonas? By the way, I really love what is the name of that director? Just like a random point here, but Bergman. Yes, I remember that. That's like my favorite. That when I hear about Sweden, so that's like the one I always come. So there's another question here. When you guys or owners in general are hiring, have an experience working with people from different countries, count as a plus? Yeah, so yeah, they have just like answered this question. As of course, that's like a very important point. You guys have any experience abroad? So yeah, so Magnus and Jonas, thanks so much. Do you guys have like any other consideration or any, like I'm not the best interviewer in the world, so I don't know if there's.
You did a good job.
You did a great job.
Yeah, if you guys need like a hiring person, I can interview them. But by the way, so I don't know if there's any point or anything that I missed, any you guys would like to cover or talk about, like your company's hiring. So
I can mention we have made a lot of YouTube content on these topics about the visa process, the recruiting process, what to expect in Sweden when relocating, and lots of testimonies and so on. So at our homepage, explipro.com, you have links to our YouTube channel. So there is a lot to see if you're interested in about relocating to Sweden and working with us. Yes, otherwise, yeah, we have job openings at career.explipro.com if you're interested. And if you believe you are a match, please apply.
And also, I can also mention that, I mean, as Jonas mentioned in the beginning, the market right now is a bit difficult, and I think this is a global phenomenon. Tech layoffs in US and in Europe also, and in Asia. So I mean, but we don't expect that to last forever. And sometimes we have been in contact with engineers for, I think the record is more than 3 years actually, before the first time we interviewed him until he joined us. So I mean, if you have a long-term ambition to relocate and try a new life in Europe, or maybe in Sweden in particular, it's just to reach out to us, apply to a job, connect with us on LinkedIn, and look out for opportunities, or contact us in some way. And if you have this ambition and you have a relevant experience and interest in technology, then just be patient.
And we also provide internal references, since we have Brazilians working for us. So if you can always talk with them how we are as an employer, how life in Sweden is, how relocation goes. And we also have experience of relocating cats and dogs, if someone wonders about that. It's a quite complex, but we have done that.
Yeah, that's important.
Yes,
look, guys,
also important.
This is an important benefit. No excuse at all, right? So, by the way, I have just another question that came to my mind here. That's like, we looking from here. You guys really look close to the crisis that's happening between Ukraine and Russia. Does that impact anything at all in your market? Because look, I'm looking from here, like from thousands of miles away. So, is there any interference at all? So,
the interference is we have a big defense industry here in Sweden. We make fighter jets, submarines, tanks, cannons, lots of robots and high-tech stuff. And they are ramping up now, selling lots of these systems to other European countries. Other than that, we don't. Yeah, of course we follow the news. It's a European neighbor, but it doesn't affect the society in any way like that. We support them, help them, but the defense industry, I would say, is booming right now.
Amazing, yeah. And I promise that's the last question. Just because I totally missed that in my notes here, but in terms of salary, what's the expected, like the range expected amount that people should expect in a year of work? Usually, like this profile that you guys have mentioned, the senior developer, like a regular person.
Yeah, it depends on. I mean, Sweden, as Jonas mentioned, also that we are in the top of living standards and so on, and life of quality. But when it comes to financial things, there are definitely salaries in other countries or other countries that pay higher salaries than what we do. But senior software engineers, they have a salary between 50 to 65,000 SEK per month, I would say. And if you just directly translate that to euros, that would be 5,000 to 6,500. And then you take away a bit of income tax, so about 30% of that. So this is what you have in hand after tax.
Yeah, but it's a tricky comparison. Prices differs a lot on different stuff, and benefits lots
for
of
sure.
things.
What you pay for different things exactly. Care for children and so on.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to look wider in this.
Definitely. Like, I will never forget this for 180 days. Never in my life. I tell that everybody. I write a LinkedIn post about that, by the way.
That's something.
Yeah. So Magnus and Jonas, thanks so much for you guys coming here. You are always welcome. Like, whenever you guys want to, advertise any position, like even inside our platform, inside our community, we are going to share like all the content that you guys produce inside our platform as well. So please count on us to help you guys just get to more Brazilians. And that's been like an honor to have you guys here today or talking to our community. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.
Take care.